What's up, gang? It's your boy coming to you live. Oh, wow. Let's try that again. What's up, gang? It's your boy Midnight coming to you live from where? Midnight Cinema. Today, what do I have for you? I'm reviewing episode 3 of Landman. Hell has a front yard. This is my review of episode 3. Um, Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe if you are new to the channel. I just want to make sure that I got that out the way first before I dove into everything else. Landman is a series that stars Billy Bob Thornton, Ali Larter, Michelle Randolph, Jacob Landolph, um, Demi Moore, John Hamm, and Kayla Wallace, Paulina Chavez. So far in this episode, we're obviously moved on from episodes 1 and 2 from the pilot. We see Cooper, which is Jacob Landolph's character. He's about to get jumped by the cousins of Luis and Elvio. They were subsequently killed in an accident in episode 2. Episode 1. My apologies. Yeah, in episode 1. Yeah, there was a big accident that took place, and it's kind of messed with Cooper a little bit for sure. And it has, Monty's company being watched very closely. Hence the lawyer, the attorney, Kayla Wallace's character, she's coming in to check on the liability of it all and essentially play the role of, she's looking for the reasons as to why this needs to be shut down and terminated and who needs to be responsible for it and answer for it, which would result in Monty possibly having to potentially pay up to like $80 million in some crazy lawsuit. And then we have to worry about Tommy Norris, played by Billy Bob Thornton, getting fired. Right. So that's where we are with that. The cousins try to jump him. Cooper fights him off. We meet a new character named Boss who kind of watches what takes place, but Cooper used to wrestle at Tech, and he takes them out very, very, very easily. One of them tries to pull a gun on him and everything, and he handles himself very, very well, as you can imagine. Furthermore, as I say, he meets Boss, and Boss kind of takes him onto the crew. And lo and behold, the cousins are also part of the crew that Boss is on too. From there, see the arrival of Angela. Angela pulls up. Angela's played by Ali Larter. She is Tommy's ex-wife. He and Ainsley, his daughter, both played by Michelle Randolph, meet him at the airport. Well, meet her at the airport. I'm sorry. Once they meet her at the airport, pick her up. Then they head over to the country club. And honestly, I must say, Ali Larter she's wild. I mean, everyone, see, Yellowstone, which I love so very, very much. Taylor Sheridan is a freaking just genius when it comes to behind the camera writing, creating these characters, right? Developing this world, okay? And he's created like essentially another Beth, but even more wild. Just a bit more wild, if you will. Now, wild in the sense of she doesn't really have like a so-called job or obligation to aid as far as the overall operation, like Beth does help with the ranch on the legal side of things. But she's wild enough where it's kind of like Tommy has all these things he has to worry about, and then you just bring in this wild ex-wife, and she's kind of who he still very much loves, and it's very clear that she still very much loves him. And she messes with him about it. She knows it. He knows it. And we couldn't find out later on in the episode that she just doesn't like playing second because of Tommy's job. And that's really why she left to begin with, because his job just calls him so much. Something always needs to be handled. Something always needs to be fixed. And she's very much attention seeking, just kind of like how Beth is. Like she wants that attention. She craves that attention. And I think we'll find out maybe more about her character as the season goes on, as the show progresses. To see how she became that way, first off, or how she met Tommy or what have you. Maybe we'll get one of those flashback episodes. I don't know. It's a possibility. I'm just saying. It's just a thought that I had. They go to the country club, have some margaritas. She decides to get in the pool, and she expresses herself in front of everyone in the bar, removing the robe and all, clearly in the bathing suit with the heels on. I'm just like, jaw drops, hits the floor. It's like, well, there you have it. And Tommy says, well, you kind of embarrassing yourself. You're not embarrassing me. She's like, that's envy. I said, damn, that's crazy. Because she was getting some looks, and one lady kind of gave her that side eye, that hairy eye look. And she's like, yeah, no, it's clearly she's a very, very beautiful woman. And hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. I mean, it is what it is. That's all I can say. That's really all I can say. As so Ainsley and Angela, they're hanging out by the pool, and Ainsley scrolling on Instagram. She sees this picture of Dakota with this girl, I believe that's on her cheer team or what have you. So it's clear at this point that he's just kind of up and left her after that night when she had asked him, to just sleep with him, and he just kept asking for sex. She was like, no, she wasn't feeling it. She wasn't trying to. She just wanted to sleep, and that's all he wanted. Now, nothing crazy happened as far as that goes. She ended up going back to her dad and just seeking comfort with Tommy, essentially, because he told her, that was going to be something that took place. Like, obviously, he was going to break her heart, knowingly. So her mom tries to calm her down a bit, and I think that kind of rubbed Ainsley the wrong way. I believe, because her mom's kind of telling her not to worry so much, but it also kind of aids in the decision that she makes, and she wants to stay with Tommy, essentially. I mean, she never really grew up with him. Mom has always had custody, and she loves being around her dad. Like, she just feels more protected. She feels more sheltered. She feels more at home. She feels like, I guess, even in being herself, there's more that she can learn under her father, as opposed to just being under her mother, who's wild and rambunctious all the time, essentially, with this new guy that she's married to that she doesn't even really love. She's just with him for essentially attention. There's no other reason. She just wanted to feel like she could have all these other things, living this lavish and luxurious life, and but not really with the guy for who he is. Unlike Tommy, like, she loves Tommy for who Tommy is at the end of the day. And despite everything that has gone on within their marriage for so long with his job and all, she clearly still has that soft spot for him, like I said. So there's a point later on in the episode with those two after he picks them up from the country club, after this situation with the lawyer. Actually, let me jump to that next. So he gets a call. Well, he gets a call earlier on from John Hamm's character, after John Hamm is on the golf course with a couple of his other CEO buddies. And one of them is the guy who sent out the attorney, essentially. So he's trying to broker a deal where it's like, hey, I need you to back off the situation, man. And he's like, well, I can't. I mean, you violated OSHA in so many ways. This family has been killed under your name. There was a plane that was carrying full of drugs that was stolen. So a lot of things aren't looking too much in your favor, Mr. Hamm. That's not his name. It's Monty. My apologies. Not a lot of things are looking in your favor, Monty, at the end of the day. So, he calls Tommy. Tommy lets him know they're supposed to have a meeting on Tuesday with some higher ups as far as the legal team is concerned to talk about the whole situation. Tommy meets with the attorney, again, played by Kayla Wallace. I can't remember her character's name off the top of my head. Actually, give me a second here. Let me see. Let me see. Hold on. Why are you not popping up? Show up. Please, show up. Where is she? No, please don't do this. Oh my goodness. Don't do this. Now all of a sudden Google wants to act like I can't find her. Like her. I don't understand. You know what? Here we go. Let me do this. Let's see. Give me a second. Almost there. Okay. Rebecca. That's it. Rebecca Falcone. I wonder if she's related to Carmine Falcone. Anyways. So yes, he meets up with Rebecca. They get in the truck. They kind of have a very short conversation. He's trying to figure out how old she is because it's like, wow, I mean, you've worked to this point where you're this young, but you're working on a case this large. And she took that as offense. She's offended by everything, which happens to be a running joke throughout this series, which I kind of appreciate. It's pretty funny. And so they pull up to the crash. They pull up to the crash site where in the first episode we see how the plane and the truck, smashed into one another. And Tommy's explaining things to her about everything that happened, how the cartel stole the plane, and that only seems to happen to independent contractors as opposed to the big established companies because they have all of the extra teams and all that protect them. Whereas an independent contractor may not have as much access to those tools while still being very rich at the same time. They are not those fully established companies that have been around for generations at this point. Okay. So they get into a debate about as far as like energy is concerned, which I thought was a really, really good conversation to have. That I think people don't really think about too much as far as how, the fossil fuels and climate change and all those things. And I'm not trying to dive into all the politics of it all, but I really believe that the conversation that they had between them was really, really interesting because we do rely a lot on these fossil fuels and we do rely a lot on oil and petroleum. And the thing is, what he was trying to get across is there's no other source that we can use on Earth right now that could sustain us the way it has for years, just like oil has in that way, which is why it's the most dangerous job in the world. And then you have all these other alternatives that aren't really the best, or they use up more than we really think about. Like the wind turbines require that petroleum because you have to winterize them, you have to lubricate them. You have the lithium batteries and Teslas, like the whole mining of all the lithium and then trying to get rid of the batteries. Like the studies on that is crazy. It's actually insane when you think about it, all the things that take place when you're just trying to get a battery and then having to get rid of it. It's insane work. So they had a really good conversation about that. I loved listening to all of it. And again, I think that speaks to the writing of Taylor Sheridan because he's able to weave those themes in there that we have in our day-to-day lives. And then especially also being a Western boy himself, it's just that way of life and being able to see like these are the things that happen on a regular basis. These are the conversations that take place on a regular basis that, people seem to forget about. It's almost as if, people can become so educated that they don't remember, they forget to also have common sense at the same time and kind of think things through and actually be taught to truly critically think. That's the other thing, which again, I appreciate. I'm all here for it. So from there, after that conversation that they have, there's a rattlesnake that's there. For some reason, Rebecca not for some reason. She gets paralyzed with fear. She doesn't move. And this is one of the funniest jokes to me in the episode was when after Tommy goes over, well, he tells her to walk away. She's asking what to do. He's like, well, maybe you should walk away from it. And she's paralyzed with fear. He comes over, he takes the shovel, beheads the snake, takes his rattles, and then walks off. And she says, why do you have to park so far? And he said, oh man, now I'm trying to remember what the joke was. It was like, I didn't park so far. You decided to, you, I don't know. Oh man, I can't even remember now. I feel bad for even bringing it up at this point that I can't even remember the joke. But it was something along the lines of essentially, why did you park so far? And he's like, well, why did you walk in this direction? Nobody told you to go over there. Next thing you know, you're going to stand. Don't wait for the mountain lions next. And she's like, okay, fine. What have you? That's not the. It's along those lines. Okay, don't shoot me. Okay, don't shoot me. I tried to figure it out for you guys. I'm sorry. I got a whole lot going on. I'm packing everything to get home, ready to go home tomorrow, and all. It's a whole host of things happening. So yeah. Also, another highlight of the episode was Cooper going over to see the family. The cousins didn't want him there at first, but then Luis's wife, she speaks to him and brings him inside, makes him some food. Cooper still can't handle his spice. He sits with he ends up sitting with Elvio's widow, Ariana, played by Paulina Chavez. And she laughs at him while he's struggling to eat, the spicy. I don't know exactly what it was, but it was spicy. I think some rice. And he couldn't handle it, so he was drinking his beer fast as I don't know what. So, she was breastfeeding the baby, and they were talking about Elvio for a little bit, how she hasn't really had time to think about him now that this is the longest she's gone without thinking of him. So um she wanted him to make her laugh. He proceeded to keep eating the food because it was funny to her, because she kept laughing at him because he couldn't handle the spice and all. And so eventually, she starts crying and lays her head on his shoulder, and the cousins kind of see that, which comes back to bite him later on in the episode, because I was like, that's not what happened. So what happens is they go back to the Babes and Brew spot, go through the drive-through, and after they get all their coffee, the one cousin leans over with a shiv, right? And he really puts it in his rib. He's like poking. I'm like, good Lord, man. He says, if you ever wrap your arm around my cousin's widow again, I'll effing kill you. Like, that's not what happened. She sat there with a plate in hand. I'm pretty sure he was eating flan at this point. He was eating a dessert at that point. And so she just leaned over on him and was just crying. And he's like, if you ever put your arm around my effing cousin's widow again, I'm like, Dad, what did you see? I don't know what you saw. I feel like you're just looking for an excuse to take this guy out completely at this point in time. So, Cooper's kind of like, all right, cool, bro. No problem. So they go off to the new site. This new oil well is not pumping out as much as it should. It's pumping out 12 gallons instead of the 180 gallons that it used to pump out when it first started. And so Tommy calls Monty. Monty's like, you know what? Just kill the well. I really don't want to. And Tommy advised him, look, summer's coming. It's a temporary thing. We can get a hold and we can fix it up. We just got to rework it. He said, all right, kill the well. So they take down the pump jack. Well, we'll see them, a little quick montage of them trying to take down the pump jack, and then the episode ends. And so, but even like preceding that, obviously, oh yes, this is the other point I wanted to bring home, the whole custody thing. So I think I already kind of touched on that a bit. But anyway, well, Angela tries to sleep with Tommy. It's alluded to that it ends up working after they have the conversation, because Tommy was honest. He said, look, either we're going to talk about this now and you're going to be sad, or we're going to have sex first and then I tell you this, and then you're going to be sad and furious. Rather you just be sad. So that's when she talks about the whole not wanting to be second thing, because he tells her that Ainsley wanted to stay with him until she goes off to college, basically. And Ainsley's sleeping on the couch, and she hears Angela squealing and laughing, and then it's like, all right, well, there you have it. Guess it worked. Good job, Tommy. So that's my quick little recap review of it. I think I love how we're building on this. I'm enjoying every second of this show. Like I said, I've always loved Taylor Sheridan's writing. I didn't realize that he was going to be who he is now from the time that he spent on Sons of Anarchy. I mean, he's in there for the first 3 seasons as one of the sheriffs. Yeah. So, to see him grow from that to now, this guy's like a freaking fountain of creation, a straight up guru. I mean, you might as well call him not even a pioneer. What's the word that I'm looking for? I guess you could say a giant right now, as far as the TV space is concerned. I loved, he wrote Hell or High Water, which is it's probably, it's in my top 10 favorite movies of all time. And he also wrote, and I'm pretty sure he directed Wind River. I think he wrote and directed Wind River, which is another one that I really, really love, with Jeremy Renner. And, oh my goodness, what's her, John Bernthal. There's, why is her name eluding me? I don't know why her name is eluding me. Oh my gosh. Hold on. I don't know. This is going to kill me. It's killing me. Elizabeth Olsen. I was trying not to say. See, Mom, I was about to say Emily Osment, and I'm like, that's not it. That's not it. That's not it. It's kind of one of those, I'm trying to dig in my brain, like, open the file cabinet, please. Elizabeth Olsen. Yes. Love that movie. I actually did the monologue from the movie. I have that on the channel here. It's one of the first monologues that I kind of did to kind of set me up to at least show people, like, hey, I can act. Yeah, it was fun to do. I really love that monologue. It's one of the best monologues I've heard. in recent years. It's a really, really good monologue from his character. So yeah, I mean, Taylor Sheridan has really expanded on things. I haven't watched Lioness yet. I know that that's been getting rave reviews. I don't have Paramount Network for some reason because my Roku doesn't have it. It's blowing me. So I wanted to be able to do a whole season's worth of review for Yellowstone, but I'll probably have to wait till all of it ends up on Peacock. We'll see how that goes. Also, 1883, I started over because I had started it before, but I hadn't finished it. So I'm starting from episode 1. I think I only got to episode 2, honestly, the first time. So I started that over, and I'm rewatching that. I'm still in the first episode of Bass Reeves. I'm like halfway through that one. So I got a whole host of work to do. 1923 is another one I got to watch. Tulsa King. I woke up to Tulsa King the other day. When I was watching Landman. I just happened to wake up and boom, there's Sylvester Stallone, full on gangster mode. I was like, oh, okay, well, let me start this over and watch this from the very beginning. So he's got a whole lot going on, and I love every second of it. Eventually, I would like to work with him, man. Boss Ranch and all that. He's an inspiration. He really is. I love his style. I love the cinematography, his vision, and the way he tells stories. I mean, you can just kind of tell, through the way his characters are written, he's just a straight shooter. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Yeah. So, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the review. I know it was kind of all over the place. I'm trying to do a little bit better as far as getting all my points out here. But I just watched the episode, so I'm just kind of going off the top of my head here. I'll make sure that I get episode 4 out for you guys next week. Should be fun. Again, if you're new, please feel free to like, share, subscribe to the channel. I hope you all loved this review, enjoyed the review. Please feel free to like, and comment. Please comment your thoughts down below about different characters, story points. What do you foresee happening next? I think that this lawyer case is going to get a bit messy. I think this is going to get very, very messy unless they find a way to cover things up. But again, with corporations, I mean, there may be ways to do things, and it kind of had me thinking early on with government making deals with cartels and all that. It was kind of like, it's a dirty business, it's a dirty job. I hope that this is the last point that I'm gonna bring up too. So one of Tommy's friends that he lives with, Nate calls him after he finds out about the whole thing with the attorney. And that, he's telling him to not be her enemy, be her friend, right? Nate he says, you do anything you can to get her on your side. The last thing he says is, you just be her best friend, just be kind to her, sleep with her if you have to. Just do anything you can. When he said that, I was like, and then once the episode ended, it's like, I hope he doesn't do that. Because I really would like to see Tommy and the family get back together. I think Tommy and Angela, their dynamic it's just perfect. Y'all, come on, y'all, fix this. Get back together, man. Just get back together, be a family again, she was worried about being alone in such a big house. And I'm like, you love this man? Go be with this man. Be a family. Come on, man. So I'm hoping that it doesn't get to a point where he finds himself sleeping with Rebecca. I don't think it will. But I really don't think it will. But I would hope that Tommy just, because he's kind of that noble asshole essentially, and I hope he sticks to just being that. Don't want anything more than that. I swear to goodness, I swear I'm gonna lose my mind, and he's getting reprimanded. Okay, Billy Bob, do you see this? You're probably not seeing this review, but I don't care. If you end up having to, I swear to goodness, I will throw you down the oil well. I just can't have this, man. But anyways, guys, I've talked enough. Like I said, I hope that you all enjoyed the episode on Paramount Plus. You all let me know what you think down below. Again, feel free to share this video, like this video, comment on this video, subscribe to the channel. Love to have you all here. Appreciate all your support always. And have a great Thanksgiving. I've got a whole bunch of more content coming out to you this week, so I hope that you'll be able to see the rest of it and actually enjoy. All right, guys. Y'all go and check me out at these here socials. I'll see you all in the next one. And by the way, make sure that you stay tuned for all types of content that I got going on at this here channel. Remember, one pack, one nation, one smooth hell.